Hello there, greetings and comfort to all Rwandans, but especially the survivors as we commemorate for the 29th time the genocide that was perpetrated against the Tutsi. Now, this is what tops our edition tonight. On the 10th of April 1994, patients and caretakers in CHUK and King Faisal Hospital were killed by doctors in collaboration with soldiers and Interahamwe militias. Various residents who have been living in Bugesera district since 1959 and their descendants expressed the challenges they faced during the period, including being expelled. Good evening and welcome to Rwanda Television News. My name is Sam Kalisa. On the 10th of April 1994, patients and caretakers in CHUK and King Faisal Hospital were killed by doctors who were treating them in collaboration with soldiers and Interahamwe, to the extent that in both hospitals more than 100 were killed in that day and 70 others were seriously injured.
Mukabagire Jeanne d'Arc was an emergency nurse at CHUK Hospital from 1972 to 1994. She testifies how on April 10th, Tutsi who were sick in the hospital and their caretakers were killed. Even though all the members of her family had been killed in Nyamirambo where they lived, that did not stop her from continuing to treat others, including the wounded soldier and Interahamwe, who had started killing each other. So, in CHUK, we kept fighting with the Interahamwe in very bad condition. They took the patient out of the halls with their serum and went to kill them. Sometimes they'll kill them right away with people watching. By the time it was April 20, there was no longer any patient. It was only the Interahamwe who used to come and ask you to treat them. If you hesitated, they threatened to kill you. Mukesha Rugo Maria was also a nurse in that hospital from 1970. She witnessed how the doctor and soldiers told the sick and their caregivers to march and go be killed. I saw them coming to pick our patient to kill them on the 10th, and one of the nurses who was working with them used to update us, saying the doctor is coming for a tour. Since the 9th, we were already used to it. So, we used to tell the patient and their caregivers to start running outside. Those who were unable to run will get their ID checked, and if it says that you're a Tutsi, or you would lie that you forgot it, some people would say, we already know you, and they would tell you to march down where they would kill you. Medical expert Professor Stephen Rolisa, who is a lecturer at the University of Rwanda, criticizes doctors who violated their medical oath.
What happened to doctors, to nurses, to healthcare professionals is something you could never imagine. People were killing their colleagues, people were killing the patients who came to give birth, who came with pain. Instead of treating them, they killed them. It is something that can also prove how genocide was beyond measure. We cannot understand up to now what happened. But it's terrible. It happened, we know it happened. And this is why we tell everyone we train, we talk to, everyone should always remember and say never again what happened in Rwanda in 1994. Well, what happened in this country is terrible. It is what we found, what we saw in genocide against the Tutsi, whereby it was terrible what happened. In medical profession, we have one fundamental principle which is called do no harm, which means that whatever you do no harm to the patient, to the person who come to you for life. But if you find a situation whereby doctors and healthcare professionals are taking away lives of people, it's something we cannot explain. Up to now we don't understand, but it's terrible, it happened. We have many healthcare professionals who killed people, who took away lives instead of bringing back lives.
On April 10, 1994, more than 100 people were killed in the Kigali CHUK hospital. They were thrown into pits, where some of them were removed last year to be given a decent burial, while 29 people were killed in the King Faisal hospital and 70 others were injured by a bomb fired by the soldier. Jessica Agasaro, RTV News.
Various residents who have been living in Bugesera since 1959 and their descendants expressed the challenges they faced during the period. They appreciate the full rights provided to them by the government of the national unity, and they are allowed to live wherever they want. Adam Squizera.
Since 1959, Tutsi have been persecuted, tortured, and killed. Various residents of Bugesera district say that Tutsi who didn't manage to escape to other countries were gathered in different places and resettled them in Bugesera area, where they faced a difficult life. Munyangwele Jean-Baptiste, who was 20 years old in 1959 and is now 84 years, points out their journey from Gatonde to Bugesera. They collected all Tutsi in those big trucks at night. After reaching there, we faced a very difficult life, where we used to eat once a week. Meanwhile, we really faced a very bad life at that time. Minister of National Unity and Civic Engagement, Dr. Jean Damascene Bizimana, noted after residing the Tutsi in Bugesera, there was another way of preventing them from their families. Later, Sebatware set the restrictions of that no any Tutsi is allowed to cross out of Bugesera. Those resolutions restricted anyone who would transport any Tutsi from Bugesera, that he or she will be punished. Those restrictions of Sebatware were established in June 1996. That place, usually named Alete, which looks very nice nowadays, was named like that due to that there was a roadblock for cars which were coming from Gako, where they were inspecting if there is no Tutsi who is going to Kigali. From then, it was named Arete. The residents say that after surviving the genocide against the Tutsi in 1994, they are now achieving the journey of rebuilding themselves. Now, you live where you want, you cultivate what you want, and also live with all people together with no problem. Where those days were resided, now the good thing is that I can do whatever I want without any problem. Minubunge noted that in the Vision 2050, aiming to build a sustainable developed country based on 3 pillars of unity, vision, and choosing what's right for Rwandans. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
Children with extinct origin due to the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi say that even though the government assists them in their daily lives, they still need to be comforted and helped by the Rwandan society in healing their wounds.
Kura Dusenge, Kenya, after the genocide against the Tutsi, found herself in an orphanage called Abakarikuta at Saint Famille. Later in 1999, she was adopted by a family, even though she faced various problems. She appreciates the role the government contributed to her life, as now she is eligible to access basic needs in her daily life.
Before finding any of my family member, I was really depressed due to that I had no one beside me. But through RPF here in Kigali, they gave us family, whereas now I have someone I call my mother, brother, and sister. Meanwhile, there is no problem.
Despite this, Kura Dusenge always wants to meet her family.
After leaving that orphanage, there is a name of a mother which kept coming in my mind, who was called Gertrude. I don't know if she's among my family. I have birthmarks on my left arm and other on my back. If there is any parent who lost their child with all these signs, can approach me.
On the other side, those children with the extincted family points out the challenges they face.
umuntu wanoye yanoye ambwira ko yanoraguye ahahoze ari radiyo Rwanda.
The person who picked me told me that they found me at a former Rwanda radio in town. He picked me up from the dead bodies. He told me that he picked me from my mother who was killed. Then he raised me. After getting 80 years old, he died. Then later I faced many challenges, whereas at 14 years old, I was already impregnated. Then after 1 year, that family took my child away from me.
Currently, 50 children with extinct origin have cooperated together, where 7 of them have already found their origins. Adam Squizera, RwandaTV News.
Some of the survivors of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, especially young ones, say that they were not totally held back by the sorrow of losing their family members. They endeavored to work hard and create a new beginning. When the genocide against the Tutsi happened, Madeleine Uwamahoro was 7 years old, and she had went to visit her grandmother during the holidays. Some of her family members were killed during the genocide. I survived alone in that family because I had went to visit my grandmother in the holidays. Of course, the sorrow comes back, but you stop thinking about it and focus on a better future. It's obvious that she was filled with sorrow after the genocide was stopped. However, she managed to finish her secondary education, and she is employed in Gasabo district, which she says cost her great resilience and patience. I was not held down by grief. I later got married, and I have children. I started business, and it is going well. I pay school fees for my children and help others. After the genocide, we did not stay down. We had to rise up again and develop ourselves. My business is now worth around 10 million. There are many other people with a history like Uwamahoro's. Gutunga Clement survived from Ruhango district, southern province. He was 6 years old during the genocide against the Tutsi. After the genocide, he, together with other family members who survived, had to rebuild themselves. He currently owns a clothing shop, which he named Gutunga Fashion Shop. If your anticipation is becoming very rich, you need to get to a level of being a wholesaler. That's only when you can take care of your basic needs, but also have more. The Organization of Genocide Survivors, GARG, embarked on training youth survivors of the genocide so that they may progress in their lives. Except education, they have been helped in different other ways, including TVET programs. Hence, these youth have great hopes for their development and that of the country in general. GARG became my parent. Even what I have achieved in my business is because of GARG. As long as we have leaders like His Excellency Paul Kagame, we have hope, because I'm always encouraged and hopeful for a better future, knowing that he is for us. Rwanda's future is bright. We have to work hard and develop because we have good and loving leaders. We can only promise not to disappoint them. The testimonies of some of the survivors of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi who managed to work and develop themselves is a sign that even after hard times, survivors can manage to bounce back and develop themselves. Indeed. Moving ahead, residents of the Eastern Province criticized some of their leaders who were involved in the genocide against the Tutsi and killed their colleagues. This was highlighted during the commemoration event as the Eastern Province remembered those who used to be workers of different authorities during that time.
Murigo Emmanuel, who was an employee of the Muhazi municipality, states that during the genocide against the Tutsi in 1994, their colleagues were characterized by division and extreme hatred, hence participating in extermination of the Tutsi.
In 1978, when I went to ask for a job, we did an exam that was in French, and I succeeded. It was an agriculture job, but there was a division among the workers. In 1982, they chased all the Tutsi who were working there, and I complained to my supervisor about why I was fired, yet I was working well. He said, I talk too much French.
In the commemoration event for the workers of the administrative region that were merged to form the present Eastern Province and the Rwamagana district, they once again mentioned the role of the leaders in the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. The governor of the Eastern Province, Emmanuel Gasana, urged leaders of this province to fight and condemn those who promote genocide ideology, considering the impact it has had on the country.
If you accept to kill those you went to school with, grew up with, shared the same country with, and are also your friends, you have no morals, no humanity. This is the time to pay tribute to our people who died during the genocide against the Tutsi and pay them the respect they deserve.
The vice president of Ibuka, Kagoyiri Christine, criticized the leaders and the workers who participated in the genocide. However, she thanked the government of the national unit for stopping the genocide against the Tutsi and comforting the survivors.
Ntabwo twabura kudashimira cyane leta yacu y'ubumwe bw'abanyarwanda.
We can't forget to thank our government for being there for the genocide survivors and giving them what they needed mentally, emotionally, and financially, because they knew that they were living with the burden. The government did everything and helped us have a place to call home. The Eastern Province is one of the areas where the genocide was attempted since the ancient times. It has 36 genocide memorials where more than 350,000 bodies are buried. Jessica Agasaro, RwandaTV News.
And on behalf of the entire news production as well as the technical team, thank you for keeping us company. Up until next time, stay safe and have a great evening and a fruitful week ahead. Bye-bye.